like on my phone, but I'm in now. Sorry about that. Yep, I'm in. I see you.
Tiffany, if you will take roll call, please.
Peter Boyer, Mayor.
Present.
Bart Council.
Present.
Tyler Barton, Council.
Present.
There you go.
Tim Ficking, Council.
Present.
Dan Sabrowski, Council.
Present.
Everyone rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, see it.
Right. Let's see, I think this pen's working. Nope. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of July 22nd, 2025.
Moved.
Good. Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Entertain a motion to approve the payables list for August 5th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Entertain a motion to approve the payables list for July 2025 as noted in the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Entertain a motion to approve final reading of ordinance number 2025-02, amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All is in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's a good one.
Vicious. Break it.
Just making sure everybody knew. So. I would entertain a motion to approve a resolution or approve resolution 2025-15, a resolution filling the position of police chief on an interim basis.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
It's not on that. We had our work session. We had to print the resolution off real quick.
Pat, you're up, sir.
Mayor, Council, you have my report. It mostly dealt with the topics that came up during the work session. Don't have anything to add. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
I don't actually have any. I think we covered everything. You gentlemen have anything?
On there.
I'm good.
Right on. I think we've all got our work cut out for us coming up, so we keep us busy for a while. Okay, well, that was easy. Ray.
Mr. Mayor. Good day.
Good day. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. And yourself?
I'm doing well.
You have my report. Just thing to note on there is that we have been looking at concrete from Dustin's comments and then from a previous council meeting when someone came to the mic and was concerned about the condition of the concrete on the north side of Lakota. We've just gone out and looked at it, and there's certainly that concrete's been impacted by something. Our best guess is, I'll tell you, people, alkali silica reaction in concrete. So something that basically the interaction between silica in the rock and alkali in something is causing that concrete to crack out like it is. It could be, oftentimes it's, well, let's see here.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
De-icing salts that we like, that's in the ice slicer and things like that the town uses, that be impacted by that. we actually dug into the construction itself and the day that that concrete was poured, it got rained on 3 hours after it was set. So that could have had an impact. But
You actually were to track that down?
yeah,
That's impressive.
no, we had previously looked at something else right there. So it was right in front of us. It was really easy to find, but
Shouldn't have said anything. I'd have been just really impressed.
well, I don't want you to be too impressed. I like to keep expectations low.
Yeah, area is it?
So,
It's that whole like north side of that street.
yeah. And so
Weird.
Really long stretch, only that one.
Yeah, we looked at that when we were walking. It's not, it's like that one stretch of sidewalk on that side of Lakota.
and that one stretch was poured in one day
Yep.
in 2011.
Certain batch.
So we actually have the concrete testing summary for that as well. That was a little bit harder to find, but not a lot.
But you did.
So, and it met all of the testing requirements. So there was nothing that would have indicated at the time that would have started failing 14 years later, but it has. And it's just, it's tough to know what would be causing that, but it certainly is. If you're going to start replacing one section, the question is, where do you stop? Like, what do you say is good enough, and what do you replace? So at this point, it's not seeing catastrophic failures. It's just a lot of micro fractures, basically. I mean, there's not a lot of moisture getting into it at this time. It will start to fail within the next handful of years.
Okay.
But at this time, I don't think that there's anything as far as full depth replacement on it or something like that. What we are going to look into is see if there's like a coating that could be put on it to, yeah,
Polymer coating.
something that'll hold it together and keep moisture out. I think that's a Band-Aid, which is really kind of what you want on that, because otherwise it's a $300,000 fix to repair concrete. And for the town code, concrete falls on the responsibility of the homeowner. So that's pretty typical, I think, certainly in Wyoming, and I think across the US.
Does that include the curb and gutter? Cause those are curb walks, though, the curb and gutter too. Huh?
It does, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So
I've seen programs in towns, it's been a lot of years though, since they've gotten away from them, but the town would work with homeowners and supply the concrete if they handled hiring a contractor. So I can't remember vice versa, but those programs get expensive for the town too.
right. And something that Casper has done intermittently over the years, and it seems to be in vogue again, is local assessment districts and really where they've been using it is where the water and sewer have been needing to be replaced, and the city is paying for the water and sewer in the streets. And then they make it the responsibility of the homeowner to pay for the cost of the sidewalk. And generally that comes in significantly cheaper than if you or I were to hire somebody to come and do it, because you just have a
It's
contract.
beneficial to the homeowner.
Right,
They get a nice curb appeal to their house.
right. It doesn't feel that way when they're paying $3,000 to $5,000 to have their concrete replaced. So I'm not recommending that, but it is something that does work. But the benefit of you have the benefit of time right now. I don't think it's going to go anywhere right now. So something that we'll work to try to figure out a solution, like Dan was saying, something that you can pour in place or, paint on that can be a stopgap solution.
Yeah, let me know what you figure out.
Will do. And we have
I'm looking at your report. I know you got more. So.
yes. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not.
Floor is yours, man.
The expansion of the water system, we've been working on some funding options for that. We've run the Water Development Commission funding to the ground and determined that we would need to perform what they call as a level 2 study, which is basically a little bit more in a lot more in depth than the study that Inberg Miller did for us that they completed last year. We had a public hearing for that. That really didn't cover what we needed it to. So in order to be eligible for that project, for this type of funding, we'd have to do another study. We can do it ourselves, but we don't have time before the end of the month to get it done that's when their applications are due. Or you can have the Water Development Commission pay for it, but that would be starting in their March funding cycle for fiscal year 27 funding. So that's the Wyoming Water Development Commission. There's a lot of other funding opportunities that are out there. And so that was the big lift that we wanted to get figured out before the end of August, whether we could apply for it or not. We figured that one out. And so now we're going to start looking at other things that aren't as time sensitive. So that's where we stand with that project. That's really all I have for you.
Okay, cool. Cool. Anything for Ray? No? Tyler, you got anything?
No, sir. I'm good.
Okay. Dustin, you have the floor, sir. Thanks, Ray.
Mayor, council, you have my report. I'll entertain any questions. I wanted to highlight the one bullet point about the 2 service trucks. They were approved in the budget. And so we received the bids. The bids closed on August 1. We opened them. Brett Osborne from Fremont Motors had the best bids. And so I just wanted to get final approval from the council to go ahead and fulfill that sale and buy the 2 new service trucks. I have the written bids here if you wanted to review them.
Yes. I did actually. Was hoping that you'd print them all off, but that's okay.
These are the 2.
You said one of them was thank you. You said one of them was, one got sold, right? And then-
Well, he came in with 4 different bids. The bid number 1 is one of those papers. Bid number 2 was another chassis cab, at basically the same price, within $100. But he told me yesterday that one did get sold. He sent the bids. I mean, they were like 3 weeks old. And so that truck was not reserved for us, so it got sold. He has a bid for, we can order one from the factory at 90 days lead time for the same 48,000 and some change. He has one already with a service body installed. And that's the other one I gave you there at the 65. So that's available to pick up tomorrow. I mean, it's, he has it, and he has it reserved for us pending your approval. So it won't get sold until I talk to him tomorrow. Yes, sir.
See if you can find it on
Are
there.
you sure you want
Do I have to do these separately?
They are bids for 2 different items, so yeah.
I'm okay with this. So it's coming in at 65 on this other one. I mean, is that a pretty big price sensor between this one is 48? I mean, is that,
Hey,
so is that pretty?
That's the cabin chassis.
Yeah, this is the cabin chassis.
No box on it.
Yeah, this doesn't have a box on it.
right, so that one we would have to take down to Able Equipment and have a service body installed.
How much the service bodies are going for right now?
I don't have a current bid, sir.
Are we retiring any trucks that have service body?
We have one truck with a service body that could be retired.
Painted?
That is an option.
How old is it now?
It's 20 years old. It's pretty beat up.
Gotta ask.
It's a 2006 or a 2007, I think.
This is pretty nice.
I feel old, man.
What's the
I feel old.
Come on.
48? This one's 59 or 65?
65, yeah. You wanna look at this?
Both diesel.
Was that 12,000?
Oh, they're gas. Yeah, they're 1 ton gasoline.
About. That.
Would we plow with them too?
We would, there's money in the budget to have a plow installed on it.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely, that's my, the way I'm leaning.
It's okay.
You know, like that.
Because at that price, we would have money in the approved budget.
Either in budget for what we approved.
Yes, yes, they're well under.
They are,
The one with the service body already on it.
they are under.
Yes, they're under the approved budget.
This can be used as plow trucks. He said.
And so that, yeah, that leaves enough money in that line for them to
Uh,
have a plow installed on at least one of them.
Are they, did you say, are they dually four-wheel drive or?
They're single wheel, single rear wheel. They're 1 ton, 4-wheel drive
Okay.
cab. And they're the Dodge
Does it have this plow? Like a lot of them have like the extra.
snow plow package. That was in our specs.
Was it? Okay.
Sir,
okay, so are these prices accurate? So we can do a resolution on this without having to go over? Or do I need?
that's my understanding. That's the price he gave me yesterday for both of those. So
That one with the service body is available.
that's what he told me. He said it's in Sheridan, but he'll have it delivered here if we approve it.
Okay.
That was his verbal,
I would entertain a motion to approve the purchase of a 2025 3500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4 from Able Equipment at the price of $65,098
So it'll be from.
or Sheridan Motor.
From
Sheridan Motor. Correction, Sheridan Motor Incorporated.
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd entertain a motion to approve the purchase of a, where's it at? There we go, 2025 Ram 3500 truck. Who's the company? The same company?
same company. Yes, sir, Fremont.
From Sheridan Motor Incorporated for $48,049.
So moved.
Second. Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is so.
Do we need to do that again to buy the service body for it? Okay.
That bid was just for the truck without the service.
This one was, yes.
Right. So,
Budget.
if you're gonna buy a service body, that would be, that's a separate item.
I mean, as soon as we
No, it'll be fine. I just.
As soon as we get it. Cool. That cover you?
That's
Okay,
new equipment.
right on. Any questions for Dustin?
No, it'll come out of the vehicle.
No, sir.
Not on the side.
No. Okay, good. All right, fire department report. Sonny's not here. He is out of town.
Seen that.
You had some guys out on fire, it looks like, huh?
Good. Yep. And he sent me a text and I forgot. Who'd he send out?
Yeah, Matt and John with Drew,
Okay.
the new guy, John.
And are they still out?
They just got to California this morning,
Wow.
so usually it's a 14-day contract that can be extended.
Right on. So. Yeah, cool. Any questions? No? All right.
The whatever's going on with the new truck, with Rosenbauer getting bought out or the salesman getting bought out, that wasn't super clear.
So
You can ask him when he gets back.
the current salesman that we were dealing with, and he's no longer part of that. Icon took over. He's reaching out to Icon this week to find out what's going on with the truck.
Icon's gonna, so our cab and chassis are now gonna get shipped to Colorado.
I think it still gets built in the same place, but our salesperson that deals with everything is in Colorado.
Cause it's a third party that does the sales and then Rosenbauer builds it. That sounds like it's not gonna slow anything down at all. Okay.
Nothing complicated here.
So we just-
Marathon, we decided to do this. Actually, going back to you, Dustin, the paint striper,
What do you do?
since I know I'm gonna hear about it later. What's the status on it right now?
It's at CMI Tico being repaired. The hydraulic leaks are being repaired.
Okay.
Once they're repaired, we'll just move ahead with whatever else we find. See if the actual compressors will work and they'll spray paint.
Right on.
That's where we're at with that now.
So
And I did solicit bids from Superior Sign. I haven't got the bid back from them yet.
did you talk to county?
Right. right to town. I haven't made any contact with anybody at the county yet. I asked Colby to reach out. I don't think he got a hold of anybody today. So,
Well, let me know. So. Right on. Moving on, office staff report. I assume everyone has had an opportunity to read it. Nothing,
Riveting.
crazy going on, nothing crazy going on, right?
Great read.
Pretty standard stuff. Yeah. And then, Gary, I see you're out there. Have we made touch base with for our next meeting, our next work session, or our work session that we got on our next meeting? Have we touched base at all with the lady that we were using as a city planner? Okay. You want to reach out to her?
Does Ray know her?
Right.
I know her.
Okay.
So, yeah. You can
Gary needs help.
Probably more important.
touch base with these two right here and get the information from them if you don't have her number, which you probably don't, because I don't. Oh, you got her number. Well, there you go then. So just reach out to her and see if she can be there. Appreciate it. Are we all set and ready to roll on the next work session? All right, petitions and public comment are now open for people to comment. Petition.
I just want to start out with a couple of questions because I need some clarity. I might be a little late to the party and I think I know what some of your answers are going to be, but I need to be clear. Speaking of Radiant, what are your guys' reasons for being in favor? What are the benefits to the town to have Radiant built a mile away?
Well, so that's a big question. It's a big question.
I only have 5 minutes.
So there's the first part of it is that there's not a lot the town can really do. It's on county property. So, a lot of misconceptions about that. But outside of that, I wouldn't care if it was Billy Bob's Burger Barn, right? Like if they were a $200 million company and they wanted to come in here and put in infrastructure and allow the town to grow and prosper, it's irrelevant to me really as much as I want to see the town grow and prosper is what.
Are we gonna get any money from this?
Yes.
In what way?
Well, I mean, are you going to get any money?
No.
Am I going to get any money? No.
Yeah.
So there's three parts to that. The first part to that is that there's called the, what is it, Pat?
Industrial Siting Council.
Thank you. I always wanted to conflate it with SLIB and so there's called the Industrial Siting Committee. And what they do is whenever you have a big project like this coming in, they have to give what they call impact fees. So that's the first part of it, right? And so these impact fees are for things like roads or police departments or things that are going to directly affect the town. You know, some of the things that I've already talked with the Chief Zahara about it, is that one of the things we're going to be putting in is more of the tornado warning sirens. And we're also going to be requesting for money to put in basically I guess you would call them radiation detectors.
Okay, how much money?
I mean, we're so early in the process right now that literally I couldn't give you a number on that.
There's no limit to it as long as you can justify
Yeah.
your.
Yeah, since we're the community that is most impacted by this,
Correct.
you could the sky is really the limit, honestly. But I see you back there. Just just, wait, you gotta go, wait your turn. But, so right now, we're so early in this process that we're literally not at that point yet. The ISC, so what happens is they buy the property, they start to build, and somewhere in between testing and actually getting things rolling, they go to the ISC, and the ISC, basically says, hey, this is the funds that are going to be given out to the town.
All right, let's just stop right there because you've already had a minute of my time. So, but I asked. The next thing I want to know is how many on the council voted in favor of this?
You'd never
No
voted
vote.
for
You
anything.
didn't vote on anything.
Yeah,
We
we
don't
voted
have
to
a
not
vote.
sign the letter.
We voted to not.
Yeah, so the Wyoming Business Council came forward with us to approve a letter they were asking us to approve a letter that we supported them for what they called the Business Ready Grant. And we turned them down.
Okay.
So other than that, we haven't voted on anything.
Okay, well, as I understand it, if Radiant builds up there, they'll be tapping into our water and sewer that goes through there.
Right. So that's what
Did you guys not give the okay for that?
the Business Ready Grant, the Business Ready Grant is the one that it will be there. That's what they're using to pay for that. So this is that water and sewer is going in from up by West Winds all the way down. Where's it end at, Ray? Is it down by McMurray or is it further south? I don't remember now.
It depends. It can go anywhere, but ideally it would go down to Antelope.
Okay. So it goes all the way down to Antelope.
So are you saying that you have nothing to say about whether they tap into the utilities or not?
Well, that discussion happened once before where we're like, this business isn't an illegal business. So we can't legally say we won't provide that.
And so far, the thing that to keep in mind is there's no plat that's in front of us. There's no request to have water or sewer.
Yeah, there-
I mean, there's,
But it's coming, right?
I know a lot of things are coming, but they're not here. And so town doesn't really have the authority to proactively say it won't consider anything submitted to it.
Okay, so you said you didn't sign a letter. What was that letter?
That was from Advanced Casper to support the WBC grant.
And you didn't want, is that 25 million?
Yep.
And you didn't want to support that?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, so as I understand it, really Barnum Council has really not any say in this. Is that correct?
I mean, legally, we don't have a lot of say. It's on county property.
Right.
It is just north. So let me go take you back a little bit here. Okay. So back in 2019, they passed a law and they took away the ability of the municipalities to have, the way it used to work is that in our growth boundary extends roughly about a mile outside of town, right? And the county and the municipality had to agree on if like a business is going in or whatever, right? They had to agree on something. Well, in 2019, a law got passed and now it is, if it's outside of the town limits and it's in your growth boundary, you don't have a vote anymore. You don't have a say in that anymore. It is now just the county.
So you don't have a say in a nuclear facility going up a mile your camp. You have nothing to say.
Technically, no.
I mean, technically, no. I mean, legally, there's not.
The way the law reads is the municipality is allowed to voice its opinion to the county. That's what it's allowed to.
Okay, and so your guys' opinion is you're in favor of it.
I am.
I mean, for the most part, yes. I'm in favor of the prosperity it's going to bring to this town. Yes.
Okay, so let's move on because I'm running out of time. I just want to say that to me, this is the single biggest issue that Barnum has ever faced. You guys might not see that, but that's how I see it. Because it's going to be our grandchildren, our children who will reap the benefits, or not the benefits, but the hazards of this. And this is all new. Everybody realizes it's new. It's still being tested. And I would like you to come back and talk to me after you have 20 or 30 years data on the subject?
Which part?
The storage,
The storage.
we have over 50, 60 years of data.
It's new.
The
Storage,
storage is,
storage and nuclear, spent fuel rods.
I mean, what are they testing in Idaho then? If it's already,
That's-
you already know about it.
That's so okay, so Idaho, what they're testing is the actual reactor itself. So the reactor that they're proposing is an advanced, I mean, they can't give away everything because it's proprietary and they don't want the other companies that they're competing with to steal their technology, obviously. But they go to Idaho in July of next year and they're going to test the reactor to make sure and run it through all its paces to make sure that it's safe. The nuclear cast storage has been around since the 60s.
Okay, but you got to consider too, when they are putting the waste in there, they're taking the lid on and off, on and off, on and off.
That's not how it does it.
Well, then that's how I understand it. Okay, let me move on because I'm running out of time here. You guys were at the Minerals Committee meeting, and I know you heard the testimony of the Indian woman.
Mhm.
And if you weren't moved by that, then you don't have a heart. And that land was affected by whatever facility they put there with
Uranium mining.
seepage into the ground. You know, they can't use their water, they can't use their wells, they can't eat their fish. See snakes with 2 legs, or snakes with 2 heads, frogs with 3 legs. A lot of them have cancer. That's what's gonna happen down the road, in my opinion. I do not trust this. As I said, our grandkids are gonna be the ones who are gonna be around for that stuff. None of us here probably will see anything from it. But our grandkids will, and it's our responsibility to leave our grandkids and their kids with a safe place to live. The citizens of Bar None have elected you guys to have our voice. And it's been made very clear by the citizens of Bar None that we don't want this here. And for you two to go before the Minerals Committee and speak in favor of it in your elected capacities is like a big fat middle finger, is how I took it. That's exactly how I feel. And Peter, I'm taking a quote from you from one of your posts on Bar None Community, where you said, "The prosperity and success of Bar None are my highest priority." I can't believe that you mean that, if you are speaking in favor of this. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other petitions of public comment?
Hey, Mr. Pete Fox, and just to follow up on the financial aspects, because I have the same question. What's the financial gain for having this particular facility built? Working with the Radiant folks, the best numbers I could come up with, it's a $160 million to $200 million gizmo they're going to build out there. You have sales tax building it, so there's 4% to the state. Another 2 capped at 3% for the county. That helps our schools, helps everything about it, all the different things that the sales tax helps. Every year you end up with $1.3 million in property tax. So that helps the schools and the state and all those kind of things. Every reactor that they sell, you have the sales tax on every reactor that goes out. There's an issue as far as, can you have a sales tax for the US government? Currently, no, but maybe we can put something in because there's 6 states that do have a sales tax for the US government items. I think we got to look at that at a state level. So yes, there's revenue that comes in. It's about $2.2 for every dollar that they invest in our community. So Bar None itself, right here, you're looking at least a 2-to-1 bump in your economy, just locally, from the activity that comes in. So it's a substantial
Thank you. Thanks.
you.
Any other petitions of public comment?
But the work session, y'all know. But the work sessions, you were interviewing or talking with this guy. Right?
Yeah.
Is this guy.
This is Steve Sheridan.
Okay. Could you come on up and let people know who you are, where you came from? He's gonna be our assistant chief or our
Interim.
interim chief. Should we know who he is?
I'll allow it. Steve, you want to come up and introduce yourself?
You're probably gonna get to know him better in the future.
Name's Steve Sheridan. I actually retired after 25 years out of Florida, state law enforcement. I've been here since 21. I worked for a year and a half at the state police or the police academy here. Send every cop to the trainer. Now work part-time at state parks. I'm a national consultant. I consult on law enforcement issues, community policing, response resistance or use of force, verbal de-escalation, leadership training. It's my passion. It's what I enjoy. Been affiliated with the council in Barnum since I got here. Heard they were been talking about developing a police department. Rather than kicking the can down the road again, we want to intentionally pick it up and move it to make some progress. And that's what I'm going to try to do. And ideally, there'll be quite a bit more of this once we get to a point where we say, hey, we are moving forward. That's it in a nutshell. College, master's in adult education, sociology degree, and a bunch of certificates in the law enforcement realm, and a bunch of also a lot of fields. And I'm excited to be able to have an opportunity to do this and to create something from nothing and maybe teach the rest of the nation how to have a safe community and a good police department. It'd be nice if we could do that. And that's the goal. Anything else? Or is that too short?
To help you out.
I've already been asking questions.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
We firmly believe that Steve will be a great asset to this community. So we're pretty excited to have him coming on board and to help us with our policing. So any other petitions of public comment?
Yes, Childress, Barnett. It's my understanding that Councilwoman Mary Sue Sorensen was required to resign due to her inability to attend meetings in person while caring for her husband who was battling cancer. At the same time, Councilman Martin, who hasn't been able to attend meetings because of his wife's cancer battle, heart goes out to their family. However, he is still on council. He's not been asked to resign. At least that's my understanding. I'm just wondering why the dichotomy here?
So there's actually some clarification required for that. First of all,
I need an answer right now.
well, I would love to give you one if you want one. Okay, so Mary Sue Sorensen was asked to step down, Mary Sue Sorensen, she's not councilwoman anymore.
Right.
Was asked to step down because she was snowbirding in Arizona for 6 months at a time. Her partner, who is not her husband, yes, he did battle cancer, but that was not the purpose of why she stepped down. The purpose of why she stepped down is because she was living in Arizona for 6 months at a time. This issue with Councilman Martin is that his wife is battling cancer. There is a chance she will die, and he requested that he would stay on council. Council can make an exception to the rule because this is a one-time thing. I hope that his wife doesn't die, and I hope she beats this, and I hope that this is a one-time thing. And we have discussed it in depth, the council, myself with Councilman Martin, and you're more than welcome to reach out to him and talk to him about it if you want to, and discuss whether we should have him step down because of the longevity of this and how hard the fight has been. But we decided that he contributes enough and we feel that he's doing a good enough job for now. If this continues on in perpetuity, then obviously we're going to have that discussion again. But for now, we're permitting it to go until his wife's treatment is done, which is about another month and a half. So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you for clarifying.
So, and just so you know, Mary Sue Sorensen is actually moving and she's going to live down in Arizona now. So her snowbirding is now permanent. So does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. So moving on, I understand that there was some sort of revenue stream document prepared for Vernon or for whoever regarding Radiant's facility or their project. One of the things that was included was an entry for payroll tax revenue. And so I actually did payroll almost my entire career, over 20 years. The only payroll that I ever saw, payroll taxes, excuse me, were Social Security or FICA, and then federal or state income taxes. There are no other payroll taxes that I'm aware of. Maybe something's changed in the last 10 years or so. So I just don't understand where that would come from Radiant. And then I'm looking at our budget. I see fuel tax, mineral royalties, motor vehicle fees, property taxes, sales taxes, severance taxes, lottery, gaming. There's nothing here on payroll taxes except for liabilities, what you have to pay out for employees. I find that very curious that I believe the number is like 1.2 million or something coming from payroll taxes to the town from Radiant. And I don't see that that possibility of that anywhere.
You familiar with a document like that?
I know that
I've never seen.
I put what's her name? I put Kayla Wilson in contact with Jesse Defoe and she sent her a document. I'm not exactly sure of all the numbers. No, you're good. So okay, so so if you wanted to, you could reach out to Jesse and talk to her because that's a Radiant thing. That's not a me thing. I don't do payroll and that's not my job. So if you wanted to reach out to Jesse, you could and talk to her about it if you wanted to.
Yeah. Over the weekend, Frosty and I had a little discussion on social media. Councilman stated that he's lost hope in many, if not all, of his past political allies. Past because he's lost hope and denigrated them online. I from what I saw. But all of this because they're against the Radiant Project. Councilman Sobrowski went so far as to accuse at least some of them of sparking fear into Barnum residents. He said that he dug in after private conversations and now knows what the strategy is. I don't know what that meant. I just want to say the comments and the behavior of Councilman Sobrowski and Mayor Boyer suggest that you know what's best for all of us, better than we do. And that we the people should just sit down, shut up, and let you do whatever you think is best for us. I can't say anything for Councilman Clark, Friedman, or Martin because the three of you just don't even say anything. It's like you just sit there and let them control the entire council. I have 1 minute. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
I have a question before you sit down. I have a question, actually. What do you want me to do?
I would like you to stop going to the legislature and telling them that we're all for that in this town because we're not. And you
Did I say that? Did I say that?
You give that impression for sure.
No. What I said is that I'm trying to do what's best for this town, given the situation we're in. Okay. I want the town to prosper. Radiant, whether they go in or not, right? I'm trying to set us up for success.
What does that mean to you?
That means that when the infrastructure goes in, that we have an opportunity to grow and prosper as a town. Because as
Was incorrect when he said we're gonna get all the sales tax money, because as we've already gone over many times, their number one customer is the Defense Department that does not pay sales tax.
I don't know about all that, okay? So I don't know about all that.
How can you sit there and say
I literally,
it's gonna make it
can I
prosper?
talk? Can I talk?
I don't know, you're still at my 5 minutes. I'm gonna go sit down. You can keep talking. I will.
Well, I'm trying to have a dialogue and you're just interrupting me and I want to explain what's going on. As the infrastructure goes in, that allows them, there's like 500 acres north of town that's not developed. It allows that development to come in. That's businesses, that's homes, that's new families, that's sales tax revenue, that's property taxes. And the town prospers and grows. That's my goal. And like I said, I don't care if it's Billy Bob's Burger Barn or if it's Radiant. I'm trying to set the town up for success. We're limited in what we can do to stop this. So at least the idea is maybe we should benefit from it. Now, the other side of that is that after doing all the research, I don't have this huge fear of it anymore. So I'm not on the same page as you with that. Yes, but there is also the other side of this is that multiple people have gotten up here and said they speak for the town.
They don't.
That's not true. I've heard plenty of people who are for this. I've heard plenty of people who don't care. What about them?
They don't care, then they don't care.
Okay, what about the people who are for it? Do we rule by majority?
No, I guess we rule by what you guys want. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm asking you, are we a republic or are we a democracy?
We are a republic.
And we rule by law, correct? We vote, hold on. We vote.
We voted for you to
We
represent.
vote by majority, right? So you can vote me out at the next election. Okay, fine. That's fine. We vote by majority. We govern by law. This company has done nothing illegal. And that's, what do you want me to do? Go crucify them for doing something that they didn't do?
Ask you for something. We're asking you to stop welcoming them. We're asking you to stop making.
Okay, but this goes back to the same argument again. That's you and a portion of the town, but there's another portion of the town who wants them here. What do I do?
So
Okay.
minority of the people in the town that want this are the ones that you're gonna fight for or argue for.
How do you know you're not a minority?
Yeah.
How do you know you're not a minority? Okay, see, this is where the dialogue.
I could be the minority. You're right.
And so this is where the dialogue goes. Okay, this is where the dialogue goes. Every single time. We're the majority. We get to say and rule on the town does in the town. Well, what if you're 51% or 50.1% and the other 49.9 want it? What do you do then? The 50.1% get to tell the 49.9% what to do? That's why we rule by law. They have done nothing illegal. They have done nothing wrong. If they have, then come bring me the evidence of it. And I'll be the first one at the door to say, this is an illegal company that is breaking the law. They are going to, they're going to kill all the children in Barnon, and I'll be the first at the door. But they have done nothing. Hey, whoa, no.
Can't do that.
No,
Mike,
that's done. Okay? That's how we rule in this country. That's how governing works.
We rule. That's a new one. We rule now.
Any other petitions or public comment?
Squire, Bill Alderman did do a survey where it was 70%.
I would not trust that survey unless Jesus Christ himself came and handed it to me.
Your meeting is out of order.
Survey.
The young man has the podium, and so he should have the floor.
What was your?
Mayor and Council, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Gavin Redmond, and I've lived in Barnett for the last 13 years, my whole life. Have any of you lived here your whole lives?
No.
Do you have kids?
Yes.
Friends, I like to ride bikes, especially on a dirt track, play basketball, and help whoever will hire me to do jobs. Something I'd like to see happen is a place to ride dirt bikes and side by sides. My mom has taught me to advocate for myself. What you don't know is I was born with lots of allergies. I'm allergic to lots of man-made things like chemicals. For example, I'm allergic to bleach. When it's on the surface, my hands crack and peel, and when I smell it, it makes me so I can't breathe. My middle school cares so much about me, they were willing to eliminate it. I heard you want to bring a manufacturing facility to the edge of town I live on. It makes me and my friends nervous. What if I'm allergic to what they put in the air? I really like being able to ride my bike all over town. What if the town gets big like Casper and it's not safe to do that anymore? Have you thought about the future kids and the childhood they have now and how it will change? I really enjoy the car races on the edge of town. Will those not be allowed anymore? I hope you will think more about what you would like to see in Warner. I really like how it is now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Any other petitions or public comment?
For Hopkins, the paint sprayer that you brought up, is that the one that the town told you not to buy?
No.
No, that's a different one.
I don't know what you're speaking of.
Okay, in the summertime, when we had the other fire chief, he was going to buy the paint sprayer, so we didn't have to go and find someone to spray the lines, the minimal lines in our town. And everyone insisted on buying it. And many of us got up and said we did not want to buy it. And we did not believe that we couldn't hire anybody out. Let me clarify. The paint sprayer that you speak of, that is in repairs. And for repairs, when was that bought?
It's the same one you're talking.
That's the one.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So the town came this summer and asked you not to buy that.
This was last year.
Oh,
We bought
I
it.
was here. I asked you not to buy it. My husband asked you not to buy it. Dan asked you not to buy
I
it.
remember that meeting.
So you do listen to Barna.
The county refused to stripe. They weren't going to stripe anymore for us and there was nobody to do
So
it.
who are we finding to buy out and strike for us?
Nobody right now.
Nobody.
We're trying
gonna
to.
Find somebody. I'm sure you'll find somebody. Okay,
We're
so on to this gentleman over here, the chief. How was his interview? How was he vetted? What kind of process did you go through?
So right now, the process is that he goes through post certification, which is a background check. It is a lie detector test. It is
Pretty extensive.
psychological test. And is there anything else I'm missing? So
Who is doing that?
So there's multiple agencies that do it. We have a background check guy that does it for us. His name's Aaron. But we can farm it out to anybody. Aaron is an independent contractor that does all of our background checks for the town.
And how extensive are those background checks?
Enough that
Can you list for me what is listed on the background check?
meaning what?
What do you check for?
Just about everything. They check work history. They check all of the references that they give. They go back finances. They do credit check. They do criminal history. They do oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
Background.
Educational, they do an integrity check. I mean, it depends on which one you want, because there's basically two of them. There's one that's kind of a basic one where it's like a criminal background check and just kind of a basic. And then there's the extensive one where they get like a 4-hour interview, and it's enough to make a grown man cry. And I'm not actually being facetious. It's really extensive. Like most people in here probably would fail it. So it's an extensive one, and he's already gone through it. He's going to go through it again.
He said he's from Sheridan. Is that correct?
That's his last name.
It's his last name.
Did any of you know him prior to him coming here to apply for this position? Or any of you friends with him?
I mean, I'm not friends with him, but I've met with Mr. Sheridan on multiple occasions.
Go to church with him?
No, but what does that have to do with anything?
No.
Did you have prior friendships with him?
No.
Okay. I would suggest in the future, if we were, I mean, I understand you're trying to get this off and going and everything. Two things. I think the town of Bar None should be able to elect their police chief. Second thing, I am not completely for, and I know some of the councilmen know that I'm not for hiring a police chief. I think there are other avenues that we can look into. But if we're going to go this way, I would like to see in the future that we put this on the ballot. So that's what I have to say on this.
If we start the clock, can I mention something?
Oh, okay.
Because me and you have talked about it.
Yeah.
And in our discussions, probably the most skeptical, because I'm in line with you on the concerns of doing this for the town. There's a few things that the sheriff wants his deputies back. They don't want to do the MOUs anymore. So that doesn't mean they still wouldn't come out here if we called them, but they're not going to be out here patrolling, for one.
Yeah, no, we talked about it.
What I've learned and what's made me comfortable, and especially a lot of conversations with Steve, it's an opportunity to start a culture of policing out here that's different than law enforcement type policing. And Steve's background in teaching, which he did extensive class work as an instructor out in Florida, is de-escalation type situations involving the community. And what I envision seeing is Bar None being a leader in getting back to policing like we saw when we were younger, where they are here to protect and serve and not escalate. I mean, it's one of his big education factors is de-escalation tactics, which I think we've gotten away from in our police academies. And so I see an opportunity because these guys like me, they want the same thing. And I think Bar None could be a leader in the state of Wyoming. And Steve is of the same mindset. So it's
For your comment.
Yeah.
I still think in the future, that's something that we need to think about, that putting
we considered that.
on the ballot. Moving on, I'll just do a little tidbit on radiant. I mean, the radiation aside and all of that, I don't see the business really viable. And so I don't think in the future, we're going to get out of it what we think we may get out of it. That's my comment on that. Another comment also is behavior on Facebook. And I get it, you have your opinions, Dan, but I think you're like going a little too far. And I do think you attacking the Bar None citizens, it doesn't matter why they think it, how they think it, it's their opinions.
Can I make
And
a
they
comment?
are to be respected.
So this is,
And then moving on,
well,
this is, Dan, this is.
all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, and we can talk about this anytime. This is not.
Make my comment when you're done.
You and I, this is my opinion about your behavior on Facebook. About behavior of our mayor I get it. I get that, and you feel attacked. I understand that. But we have to think as officials, reasoning it out. And sometimes we just have to take it because that's the people we serve. And, you know, you can talk about all those feelings and everything like that, but you guys cannot you just don't have the right to attack people. It doesn't matter why they feel it. It doesn't matter. You can't attack the people you serve. Now I'm going to end with this bingo game. I think it's insulting. I don't know who came up with it. I wasn't here. I think it's degrading to come up because.
Don't know.
This is the fun game that we have on here. You have radiant, fear mongering, money, pollution. How does this belong here?
What are we talking
What
about?
about this?
What are we talking about?
What's that?
I don't know who did this.
Can I see
No.
it? I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's not.
But whoever did that, I don't think it's funny. On either side.
Did you just find that on the floor?
No, it was handed to me
When?
From my free bingo.
right when I came home. I assumed it was you guys. I
No.
apologize. I think.
What?
Maybe it's a Jesse Smollett moment?
First time I've seen this.
Wait, so who gave it?
Someone handed it.
Can you tell me who gave it?
With the person.
Okay.
When you walked in tonight, someone handed you. Does anybody else have one?
Yeah, I've been playing. Well, I thought we were supposed to play. Didn't think it was whoever did that.
Does anybody know who
Because
brought
these
them?
are serious subjects. So I apologize that I assumed it was you guys.
So nobody knows who brought those? You brought them? Okay, you can have a conversation with her after if you'd like then.
Yeah, outside of the town council chambers. So, yeah,
Funny.
I didn't know anything about that. So,
I made an assumption we would be more. I guess the people that brought it, that's not,
We are not mocking you.
okay. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
I would like to make a comment. Number one, my interactions on Facebook. I'm not going to give up my First Amendment right, and I feel strongly about this project. I feel strongly about the safety of the cask being used. When it's average, regular citizens, I'm very careful on my interaction with them. And Jennifer, you know my decades-long friendships with a lot of legislators. My debate with them gets a little harsher, but it's not vile, and I'm not attacking them. I'm pointing out and making my opinion based on conversations and how I know those things work at those levels between the legislature and I'll say even the Secretary of State. So with the average citizens on the Facebook pages, it's a different ballgame than what the legislators. So, and I'm not going to shut up about it. I'm going to keep, because I have gotten feedback. When I make those points, 70+ facilities across 35 states and not one incident in 35 years or 50 years, people will go look at it. I've had people come in and go, you know what? It is safe. So my voice is being heard, and I'm going to keep doing that because it's not just Radiant. Nuclear industry as a whole is one of the biggest opportunities for the state of Wyoming.
Commenting on radiant and the radiation and what I had to say had nothing to do.
No, but you're saying that I'm attacking people. But what people are reading is being effective. And I think that's the frustration with some. So anyway.
Any other petitions or public comment?
Ask you about your safety. And there's
State your name, sir.
maybe that's why the government is paying me money every month. Because the radiation done damage to my lungs. About 40% of the women in Jeffrey City around the uranium mines has got Parkinson's. You know, you said you don't know about the dangers of it. I'm standing here telling you the dangers of it. You're not listening. What, like the guy told you at the meeting here a while back, a couple of weeks ago that I was in, that once that radiation is stored here, they can bring spent rods into here. They can bring anything in here. Now, he read that to you right out of the book. Okay? So maybe you guys ought to look at what the people want. There was 80% of the people in that room didn't want this company coming here. So I don't know why you guys are so for it. When people here are telling you that there's no money to be made from it. What are we going to gain by it? A bunch of sick people? You know, I've lost a leg. I've got scarring all over my lungs, which will turn into cancer. I've got stuff on my arm from radiation. You know, this radiation is not something to play with. You people think that it's just going to come and stay in these containers and never leave. It doesn't work that way. While they're producing this stuff, it leaks. And there's tons of people in this town and around the state of Wyoming that can tell you that's the way it is. And if you don't believe me, you can go down to Four Corners and ask for a few people to prove it. This radiation is dangerous. You people can play with it all you want. But why don't you listen to your public, the people that live here? They told you they didn't want it at that meeting. Now, I don't know why you people don't listen. You're the elected officials. You're supposed to do what we want, not what you want. So that's all I got to say, I guess, is if you don't want to listen to the people that's trying to tell you stuff that been through it, then you really don't want to listen to anybody. It is dangerous, and you will pay for it.
My heart does go out to you. It really does. And I'll tell you, I had an hour-long conversation with a gal that out of Gillette that lived downwind at Hanford in the 70s and lost. And this is different from the gal that was at the Minerals Committee. So what happened at Hanford and those high levels of radiation that killed people? I think the federal government owes those families some money. Those people died horrendous cancers in their 40s and 50s. So that's World War II era stuff we don't do anymore, and it's being cleaned up. They don't have those cluster cancers around Hanford anymore. Now the uranium mining, which is different than the storing the stuff in a cask, Wyoming, if I haven't done a deep dive on the mining side of uranium, but I do know there's been quite a few lawsuits over it through the harms of how they mined it. So there's a whole new renaissance coming, and our uranium mines are getting ramped up again. But I don't think we do it that way anymore.
The women were where the dust was being raised. You know, they were breathing in that stuff. So that's how the women got.
Sure, but I don't think we mine that way anymore. Now, I will take a deep dive, but that's the thing. The nuclear industry is ramping up all over the world and including this country. So they're coming to Wyoming, and maybe the mining part of it's the dangerous aspect of it. And maybe that's a different discussion we should have. But it's not the same as what's being stored in the cask. There's no incidents in 50 years of a leak.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, the salt mines are full. They don't have any place else to store that radiation. Those rods. What are they doing with them? Do you know?
Rods are going into the cask.
What?
The rods are going into the cask.
Be right there in the building.
That's right. Wait, you know where they're at right now? They're being trucked around the United States on the back of semis until they can find a place to put them. They might be in a cast,
Yeah.
but what if they fall off?
Now, look, if there is a link to a report that they're driving around the country with these things, they're not being stored.
They said that they brought them in.
They transfer them, but they're not just driving around. They transfer them to Idaho National Labs. They actually transfer out to Hanford. Did you know they're storing out there? I mean, that's how cleaned up it's gotten. They're actually using the facility.
Yeah, England's using them to make batteries that last 5,700 years, but we're not. That's pretty.
Any other petitions or public comment?
Disgusted with the excuses of this council. Like butts, everybody's got one. Matter of fact is, you guys can kill this thing. All you got to do is not supply power and water, and you know that. You discussed it in July with the attorney. You guys say they're not breaking the law? They are breaking the law. They want to store that stuff here. It is illegal to store it in the state of Wyoming. You cannot store it. Do not interrupt me.
Calm down. Calm down or sit down.
You
Calm
guys
down or sit down. That is not a request.
badgering people all night long. I'm sick of it.
Calm down or sit down. Okay?
You too.
Yeah, you gonna challenge his First Amendment rights?
I have a right to be upset. You're messing with our livelihoods. You're messing with people. I won't have it. Don't you roll your eyes at me.
I can ask you something.
No, please do not interrupt me. This is public comment. I would like to have public comment. I'm tired of you guys interjecting and ruining everything, time for everybody else. And you two go before the Minerals Commission and tell everybody that the town of Bar None wants this crap? I was there. This is disgusting. You guys should remain neutral. And people that don't care, guess what? That's a no vote. Why are we still not allowed to have a vote on this? Forget the polls. Let's have a damn vote. You want numbers? 51% can vote you guys in and out. That's part of our constitutional republic. And I hope this officer back here upholds his oath of office and is not a tax writer for this town, because I will not live under tyranny of this council. It's already bad enough with this company coming in here where our town cannot grow, cannot expand. Nobody's going to build houses right up to a nuclear plant. I don't care what you guys say. And you don't think the town's going to exit when that thing comes in here? They are. People are already selling. And I'm getting my house ready to get out of here too. This is bull crap. I put down roots here. My family put down roots here. We didn't ask for this. Now we're getting it crammed down our throats. And you guys can stand there and lie with your attorney because you don't want to get sued because you guys invited them here? That's garbage. Absolute garbage. There's no money to be had from this. And even if there was, life is not worth $1, especially for our future generations. When this stuff ruins our groundwater and the land, we'll never get that back. I'm done.
Any other petitions or public comment?
My name's Savon, a China County resident. You gentlemen realize that you have a legal, ethical, moral obligation to your constituents, correct?
Absolutely.
And you realize that you're a Hypocrite,
And thankfully, I have a savior.
completely. You don't want your First Amendment right infringed upon. I defended you. And then you run around telling everybody that this council laughs. I hope it's not so, gentlemen. I hope you're not sitting up there laughing when I come up here and talk to you. And then you lie to my face. And then you block me. You're about as low can get. And you two would sit up here. How in the hell are you guys going to lay your heads on your pillow tonight for calling out your friend? Or you claim he's your friend. Bill Alaman defends you. Several people have made the accusation that you guys are getting paid off in this in some way or another, and Bill has defended you. Bill says you're good men. I beg to differ. Your friend, you would throw under the bus with your comment. What was it? I wouldn't trust the poll if Jesus Christ handed it to me myself. What is that? It's Bill.
Bill
He is an honorable man.
is not.
This is his district. He is a representative of the people in this area. You better think before you start acting like the Reverend and throwing all this out there, and you better be careful of the book of life. To think you're God and that you can throw out anything you want and speak his word. Doesn't say you can do that. It is illegal because the all-inclusive, if you guys were going to construct something, it's an inclusive contract. Storage is illegal. No ands, if, buts, or what's about it. The land is also illegally zoned. So no more that they've done nothing illegal. There's two things against them, that it's illegal where they're proposing it, okay? I would like to see this statute that you can be sued, because Radiant said that they would leave if the people were overwhelmingly against it. David Iverson would really like to see this statute. Oh, sales tax. If you guys don't know, House Bill 11. It's an exemption for manufacturing till 2042.
But that's not what Pete was talking about.
So no sales tax on the manufacturing side of it. On 50 years, that's a long time, Dan. That's vetted for you for safety, 50 years. They said that asbestos was safe. Would you guys like to meet my father? Would you like me to bring him in here? Because they said asbestos was safe. He was in the United States Navy. He blew down the ductwork. He played in aqueous foam. We're hearing about all that stuff now, how now it's causing cancer. My father's got asbestosis, scarring of the lungs, hardening of the lungs, thickening. If it doesn't develop into cancer, he'll die a slow, agonizing death because his lungs stop working. You want to see that, Dan? You want to meet that? You're in construction. You know about these things. They were all fine until they're not. And you guys don't control God and an earthquake and any other thing that could happen that could damage one of these casks, and it is for the storage. That is the purpose of this, to bring in storage from other states. Yes, it is, Dan. Thank you.
Any other petitions or public comment?
Well, say what Pete was talking about was the sales tax on the construction material for building $160 million facility.
You're good.
So I just have some follow-up questions. I was on vacation and I know we had a chance to give you some great feedback. Just wanted to follow up on some questions that you may or may not have answers tonight, and I totally understand that because I want to get detailed because you're a banker.
Right on.
So, there's been a couple comments made about the town's financials and being, I don't remember the exact term, it was like flatlined or hasn't been doing well. I realize I only have 5 minutes, but if you just find the past few years have looked like and provide me exact numbers, is that something you could follow up with me on?
That would have to be a follow-up because that's just fairly involved. I can tell you this, our revenue stays, if you go back and you look at like 2018, our revenue stays flat. Our revenue stays flat relatively. It goes up about, I want to say about and don't quote me on this, but I say maybe 100,000 a year, which follows inflation. Then it jumps up in 2021 because of the massive inflation that we had from all the Federal Reserve dumping money in, and that matches with COLA. So our expenditures, our revenue and our expenditures pretty much stay even with each other, and I don't know why. I don't understand all the economics of it, but it seems as though our expenditures are starting to catch up with our revenue slowly. And so I don't know why. I mean, obviously you could always get into the, like the nitty-gritty details of it, but we haven't had major growth in the town for over a decade now. So
Been like a specific projection that's shown you that, or something you could probably.
like I said, I can show you a budget if you want to look at that.
Yeah, if you could follow up with me on that. I'd like to see the historical.
Budget's on the website, right?
Yeah, it's not accurate.
I got in the executive session room.
I did compare it to the financials.
In the executive session room, I've got some. I can get one for you.
Yeah, that would be super helpful, just because it's hard for me to understand if I don't see the trends.
Right. Well, you got to see the numbers. I get it. So.
So another thing I keep hearing is that we really want to see major growth. You guys have probably had lots of conversations. Can you help me understand what that means? Like, is there a goal?
This goes back to companies that are, want to develop. There's a lot of people that want to develop out here, right? And they've asked about certain places like Palomino. They don't want to. They haven't want to develop Palomino because Palomino is really expensive to develop. There's about 10 lots over there that the town's been trying to sell off, and so like they don't want to develop. But if this infrastructure does go in, it's almost a guarantee that there's going to be a lot of developers that are going to want to come in, and they're going to want to build houses. They're going to build businesses and things of that nature, just because the infrastructure is there now. And so they aren't having to bear the burden of that.
Let me rephrase my question, because I think I may have said that wrong. What does the town mean by major growth? Like what would satisfy the town as far as a growth number or projection?
We don't really have one. I mean, we're actually doing a zoning and planning meeting next Tuesday, or not next Tuesday, next council meeting, and we're basically going to be kind of doing some rezoning and stuff like that, just to kind of because our zoning is kind of mishmash.
Hasn't been changed since the 70s.
It hasn't been changed in quite a while, and so we're going to go in and we're going to kind of resort it and make it more. I don't know what the word is, conducive. But it's basically just. We don't exactly have a number on it or anything like that. It's just, we're kind of trying to make it more appealing for development, I guess.
As of right now, the way it's all set up, that nobody will build additional houses or businesses or anything out here because of infrastructure. It's kind of one of the key components of keeping everything where it's at right now. So the more population we get, population growth, businesses that come in, the more revenue the town gets, and the more money the town has to work with.
Yep.
What's that?
If I could make a couple points. One, so I built in 2005 my house, and I developed Antelope and down Palomino to where that last house is now. At that time, McMurray subdivision was just, that first phase was going. So that was major growth. We were, I think, classified the fastest growing community in the country, or was it the state?
It's in the state, in the country.
For a number of years. That's major growth. I think the growth that would come with that project up there would be a little more moderate. It wouldn't be as intense as what we saw with the housing development of McMurray. The land from McMurray North and then around to the precast plant it's different companies, but it's all controlled by one family. And unfortunately, you know, Neil and Mick are gone, and Neil was, you know, he was, the county owes him a debt of gratitude that what Casper's become is because of the money he invested with the houses up that way and Second Street. The personalities with that family don't seem to have that kind of drive to invest for development. And so they don't need to put out money to develop on speculation for little profit. So a project like this is what entices them to go ahead and get that land developed. If that project goes away, that land will go back to dormant until some other opportunity of that size comes along. Because I just don't see them developing on speculation.
Well, with growth funds increase in expenses as well. So that's why I'm asking. So what has the council done as far as forecasting future budgets based on all of what we've discussed just in this last
You can't really, we haven't done anything yet because this is so preliminary. I mean, they haven't bought the property. They haven't gotten the statute changed. They haven't put in infrastructure.
Outside of reading it, just.
I mean, there's nothing to really plan for.
So, and that's the thing, back to what I said, there is no growth coming. When you look at the land around this town, it's controlled by one family. There's no growth coming.
Let me ask this then. Why is there such a fear from the council that we need to grow? Where is this coming from?
Year after year, we're seeing, so every time I've been on council for a number of years, and every year we've ran a surplus. Like we run a great budget.
So that's a negative.
No.
Yeah.
We haven't run a negative since I've been on council for like 10 years. If my
It's getting tight.
So what we're seeing is a trend. What I'm seeing as a trend is that surplus is getting smaller and smaller. Our earmarks are getting less and less because we have less money to work with as far as the money to save and put. You can ask these guys. I am crazy about saving money when we talk budgets because we have to. Our revenue's not going up. Our expenses are going up. You know, so that's the trend we're seeing, and we don't control what does or does not get built. What we can do is help zone things to be enticing for people to come build a block of houses or a business or something like that. And so we don't really have a projection. And keep in mind, I'm not a banker. I don't know numbers as well as some people. And so we don't really know what to project because there's not really a huge possibility of growth. And so we kind of working with what we got right now.
So just based on the little bit I have right now, I'd love to see the line items and the proposal of future budgets, especially because if we're concerned about this gap, but and no offense, we're going to hire more people and try to start a police department. And I'm sure we have lots of aspirations, I'm sure. But with aspirations comes a fiscal responsibility. So I really urge you guys to think about a growth number. Take your budget and actually run projections by make sure that you can see which line items are having percentage of growth over time based on that historical data, because that's going to give you an idea of specific grants you may need to ask for, because if it's a specific utility, I don't know, because I don't have the data, but I would just highly encourage the council to really have a working session around that. And also on a lot of the things that have been discussed, if development comes in, we get 500 new homes, great. That means some revenue, right, as far as property taxes. But again, put some numbers to it, because I think what you're going to see though is with increase of residents, you are going to have an increase in crime. You are going to have bigger expenditures. So let's be really careful when we say grow. Let's have a definition of what that looks like is what I would encourage you guys. Because it can grow, and the next thing you know, you have with more money, more problems. So it's something to consider. The other thing I'd like to ask is, as a council, or have you even considered, did you ever consider a risk assessment process with types of businesses coming in, that development? Have you ever heard of a risk assessment?
Yeah, I've heard of a risk assessment.
Something, again, I would just encourage council, as new industries come and they want to develop, there's a process that you can do, and actually all federal regulatory agencies require each industry to do this. I would encourage the town to look into a risk assessment process. So let's say, I don't know, a developer wants to come in and build anything. You could really ask yourself a set of questions, get the public information of what they're thinking, get those questions put together, and really sit down and talk through that and give it some units of measurement on, what can you control, what's out of your control, and really give it an evaluation that would make sense. I think you'd gain a lot of respect from the community if you had a process like that. And I'd be more than happy to talk about it. I can't explain full risk assessment in 48 seconds. But just some things to consider. I'm going to leave you with just a quick final thought. There's been false accusations on both sides of this argument, and it's really sad. I went to a chamber meeting. I haven't been to a chamber, been an active chamber member in years and years and years, just to see, because that's usually a really neutral place. The same thing's happening there. I don't know what's going on in our communities, but whoa, guys, you are leaders. So unfortunately, you have the burden of leading by example a little bit more than the average Joe. So just keep that in mind. I do want to also remind you, I've heard a lot of God quoted tonight. I want to remind you of Matthew 6:25-34. Reminds us not to worry about tomorrow. As we've had a little bit of discussion about the fiscal stuff and some concerns about growth and that gap. What are we storing up treasures for, guys? Take it one day at a time. Let's slow down. Let's just remember that it's okay. Let's worry about today. Today has enough trouble. Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other petitions of public comment?
And can I mention something about what some of the things you said? So I've only gone through 3 budget sessions, and one of the things that you'll always notice, because I work at 2 hospitals as well, and I have to do budget there as well. I'm in charge of purchasing for the entire network for all of it. The biggest things that go up in expenses every year for these projections that we're speaking of, it typically doesn't come with growth. Those expenses come with salaries and benefits. So yeah, yes, and that's not going down. So our revenue is not online with that. We had a lot of staffing discussions this fiscal year, especially with giving very, very significant raises to our maintenance staff, our office staff, and trying to figure out a way to keep, we're business owners as well, not myself, and I just work for myself on the side, but we know the importance of keeping good staff rather than having turnover and hiring more and more and more people. So we took a big hit on that side of things to retain the staff that we have and treat them well. And we want to set a precedence in our community. Yeah, we can't pay as much as Casper does, but Evansville, Mills, Barna, these other municipalities, we didn't see a reason why we weren't paying the best that we possibly could, and we are now. Like, we couldn't do as much as we wanted to, but we did as much as we possibly could, way above a COLA and normal kinds of things, to try to retain really, really good people. So that's something that we've decided, because if there is growth, I personally want to see more rooftops. I want to see more homes, more people, and then maybe like a little gas station or grocery store or something, like nothing insane, right? Well, there is no place to do that yet. And if we do have that growth, we have the staff to accommodate that. We have the equipment to accommodate that. We'll have a police officer that is starting the policy. This is just him start policies and procedures and everything just to get it off the ground. Our fire department is in good shape. We're trying to put those things in place so that we're not reacting. We're planning for the future. We're planning ahead for if growth happens, we'll be ready. financially and staff wise and everything else that comes with that. We're flawed individuals. We're not going to do things perfectly. We're going to try to do the best we can because yeah, we do have to take care of the people that voted us into these seats. And we have to try to do that publicly and privately. And it's very, very difficult to do that. So what I wish people would come in when we do a work session every single Tuesday for months and months and months, which we're elected to do. That's fine. I actually kind of enjoy hanging out with these guys. But we're here doing these budget sessions. Nobody's here for that part. We did a work session tonight to discuss the police department. A couple people were here, right? All these are public meetings. All of this is open so you guys can see all of the other things that we do to try to help this town grow in a safe way. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, but to take care of this town so that we can build new parks, so that we can, that young man over there, I was talking to a group of kids down at that park the other night. We're on a big bike track down there. We want to make this town great for the people that live here. You have to have the revenue to be able to support that and do that. We're going to make mistakes along the way. Yes, we're human, just like everybody else. And anybody else in this position or any of these positions, nobody knows what they would do. You can speculate all you want. It's not easy position to be in, but we are doing the best we can. And I can speak for myself that I have the best of intentions, and there may be an opportunity for me to screw up from time to time. And oh no, it didn't. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. But I don't speak a lot at these anymore because one, a lot of it's non-productive conversations, and I don't want to add fuel to fires. I don't want to get more upset and do that. I'm doing the best we can. So we are planning for the future, and if it's growth, it's growth. If not, it's not. But we want to take care of the staff that we have, the maintenance crews, the fire department, everybody as best we can. And budgetarily, it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. We don't want to let people go just because we don't have the revenue. And we're one of the only municipalities that runs a surplus. The others, we're really good at what we do. So.
Any other petitions or public comment?
Non-resident. So I did do the bingo cards, but it was just for humor, not to mock anybody, just because we keep hearing the same stuff over and over. So it was to diffuse things, not to heighten them. So I did it that way.
I like your attempt.
If you want it to the next time.
Everyone has good intentions.
Yeah. So it was not meant to be insulting, meant to be funny.
I understand.
So
It is funny now that you say what it is.
yeah,
It was a little spooky.
yeah.
Well, it would have been funny if they did.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
All right, so now that that's out of the way. You have stated tonight and other meetings that you've noticed like a trend for the last 10 years that it's kind of been flatlined. And you've only known about this project since January, you stated?
Yeah.
So you knew about this flatline before this project was even an idea. And so there's been other things that have been in the works that you haven't pursued. For instance, last year they were talking about sales tax. And this community said, no, we don't want the 6 cents sales tax. Obviously, we've been mocked by the rest of the county because of that. But if you would have said to me, we can raise your sales tax 1%, or we can put this manufacturing facility at the edge of town, I would have picked the 1% sales tax raise. And I think a lot of people would have. So just an idea there. Also, are you guys intending on annexing that project in if it comes to fruition?
They have to.
We would be first responders, both police and fire. And we would be providing water and sewer, so it would be the most logical course, yes.
Plus, it's our only growth boundary right now.
We're blocked into the west, so.
So if you intend on annexing them in, then do you also intend on, for prosperity purposes, annexing the Loves in as well?
You can't go to that says.
So we've actually discussed that. I've discussed that with Pat and Ray. It would be really difficult to do. The biggest reasons is because, so if you look south, you would have to go down and dogleg over across the freeway, and that's within Casper's growth boundary. So we would be having to basically fight with Casper over whether they would allow us to do that. And so it's not out of the realm of possibility. We're discussing it. We're trying to figure out if it's something that the town could do, because you can't just annex a spot of ground. You have to touch it. Does that make sense?
So couldn't you annex?
It would require the permission of Casper and Natrona County Mills and Evansville because it's in Casper's growth boundary, and we're not allowed to unilaterally move the growth boundary.
It just seems like if they're gonna give the responsibility of Barna for such a contentious piece above us, that they should
It's worth a shot.
add to our.
I mean,
It's a good negotiating point.
But I get it. And so that is one of what we're looking into. So it is something that we're looking at, and whether we can do it is a whole other question. Like Pat said, there's a lot of municipalities that play there. So it's not just free real estate. And Casper's a pretty big gorilla.
And if we do annex it, we have to keep it to our city code then. So all those trailer houses.
Yeah, so
Salt Creek
that
and
was the other thing I forgot to mention, is that everything south of us would have to be brought up to our code. And it's mostly dirt roads and
But that's prosperity.
not as
That extra touch.
not as nice as Bar None is. Put it that way. They don't have water. We'd have to upgrade the roads. We'd have to, things of that nature, and bring in code enforcement, all these other things. And so it's not a cut and dry solution. We've actually looked into it. So it is a possibility though. So, but it's kind of
be a lot more difficult.
It's a lot more difficult than just a simple cut and dry answer I wish I could give you, but there's not one.
So if Radiant doesn't pass their tests or things and they aren't able to come in, because right now it would be illegal and these laws don't get changed, what is your plan for prosperity beyond that? Do you have all your eggs in one basket right now?
So if you were here for earlier, the engineer's report, we're actually looking at trying to get some grants to put in some water infrastructure north of town. So that is one of the avenues we're taking.
Rezoning.
And rezoning.
Doing that.
So that we bring in more homes and businesses.
Do you have a grant to pay for the police force that you're just starting?
Yes, we have actually 2 grants.
How long does that last?
What do you mean? The grants are like a one-time deal.
So how long will it pay for?
It's $600,000, so quite a while. But it's mainly just for startup costs because we have the money to fund the police department on, like a small police department in perpetuity, but like to grow it or anything like that. Startup costs are usually your biggest cost with the police department because you got to buy the cars, you got to buy the vests, you got to buy the guns, you got to buy, all the stuff. And that's it. If it says it's like the pink tax. If it says police department on it, it's expensive.
You know, where Vernon used to have their own police department.
I am.
And do you know why why that went away?
I can't remember what the police chief did, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
To do with sexual harassment, and there was a sealed settlement with that.
That was before my time, so I have no idea.
I'm just asking because I just want to make sure that as you're doing something new, that's something we used to.
Right, that's why we're doing the background check and everything like that. That's why we're doing community outreach. What's the CIB program? The Community Information Board, where that's why we're going through a process. We're walking through this slowly so that we make sure we do it right.
So if the citizens of this town come to your planning meeting where you speak about annexing them in and they overwhelmingly tell you that they don't want you to do it, will you still do it?
I mean,
What's overwhelmingly, because I don't feel like tonight's overwhelmingly.
but I guess my, why wouldn't you, I guess is my question.
If Casper, or not Casper, but Natrona County is who has the current zoning rights, right?
Right.
If they refuse to change the zoning on the property, then that business can't build what they want to build there.
Right.
If you annex it in and then you zone it so they can do it, you're still inviting them into this community. And what I'm asking is if the majority of the community tells you they don't want this, are you still going to do it?
Is there a,
Do you want to correct the annexation, from what I understand, would be after it's in and done, it's completely separate from it. It's there. And so annexation would take time, at that time.
So you don't have any intention of annexing it in and then changing the zoning so that they can build here?
That has not been discussed. That has
we
not been
haven't
discussed.
talked about that at all.
But, and you don't own enough property, you don't border enough in order to do a council initiated annexation of that property. It would have to be one that the owners of the property participated in, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
We can't force the annexation, in other words. Some annexations can be forced by a municipality if they surround about 75% of the property. Otherwise, it has to be the property owner basically seeking to be annexed.
Did you, real quick question, did you hear that that was a plan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's,
That's why I'm asking.
Gotcha.
it's absolutely 100% not.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking publicly. So
Yeah.
people who have heard that can get their answers that they want. So what you're saying is that is McMurray, isn't that who the owner is?
Robert Murray.
Would have to petition Natrona County. It wouldn't be Radiant petitioning to have
Well,
the
I'm not saying either one. What I'm basically,
change.
what I'm basically saying is that if a property owner, just any property owner, wants into a town, they can petition to be annexed. If a town wants a piece of property within their town that's not, they can always approach a property owner and say, will you petition to be annexed?
But what about
And-
the zoning?
In that case, the zoning is a separate matter. So, and what it's complicated by is what the state of the real property is at the time of annexation. If it's just raw land, it's one thing. If it's already developed, you can't zone somebody out of a use they're already making of the property. That actually gets back to the growth boundary and the town's ability to control beyond its borders, because before there were growth boundaries, the municipalities could actually control development outside of the town for up to a mile. But then the state changed the system where there were growth boundaries, and so Natrona County zones up there.
So if you're going to run utilities to land that's not zoned for that, why would you do that?
Well, everything everywhere is zoned for utilities. So the thing is, there isn't any property that exists anywhere where it says you can't have utilities. That might not be a response to the question you're asking. The utilities, for what it's worth, actually provide the town with the one means of securing annexation to property that's outside a municipal boundary, because they can say, we'll extend utilities, but you have to waive the right to protest an annexation. And I've gone way beyond your question and probably answered something you weren't asking. So anyway.
But it would be, if we annexed in the future, it would be foolish to leave it as ag to come into a town. Who?
Right, but you could have it be housing. Maybe
That's if that was in our city limits, we could rezone it, which it's in county, so county is in charge of the zoning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other petitions or public comment? Going once, going twice, sold. Let's see. Entertain a motion to approve business license number 2025-28, Happy Hearts Childcare.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
One
Second.
second.
Motion
Mayor.
and
Oh, let Tyler have that one.
what's up, Tyler?
I just wanted to say a quick thing real quick. I know there were actually several members of Outfitter that spoke tonight, and I'm proud of each of them, but I just wanted to, especially as a member of council and as Gavin Redmond's pastor, I wanted to note how proud of him I am as a young man participating in town stuff, and sharing his opinion takes a lot of boldness and courage. And I felt that as a young man, he was very well spoken. And then I just also, the last thing I wanted to do was addressing a concern that was directed to me from Mrs. Childress, and completely understand. Technology is a funny thing. I'm on this call, but there's a timer on the screen, not my less than lovely face. And so I'm here. And so I understand your concern. And I just wanted to clarify that I believe I've only missed 2 meetings, perhaps 4. Callie could provide all of that. But sadly, our treatment schedule requires me to be gone with my family on the 1st and 3rd weeks of the month. I really wish that it was on a different week. Wish that I could be in person, but I'm diligently doing all that I can to stay involved. Phone calls with residents, consistent communication with town council members. And if I felt like I couldn't serve our town faithfully, I certainly would step down. And that's been a reoccurring conversation with the members of council. And by their council, they've kept me on. If I felt like I couldn't be faithful, I certainly would step down. And I made that clear back in March, I believe, when treatment began. And but we're near the finish line, should be done in October. But I just I've heard other people as well say that I haven't been here or were concerned where I was. And again, our technology is strange. There's only one other option of having my face take up the entire 70-inch screen TV, and that's not fun for anybody. And so, but I am on most of these calls. I've been at most of the work sessions. But I just wanted to say that. And then I had one other thing on Steve Sheridan. There was some leading questions that my assumption noted seemed as if it was like leaning towards nepotism and hiring a personal friend or possibly a church friend. I believe all those were cleared up, but I just wanted to praise Steve that he's been at most of the council meetings for several months. He's provided incredible amounts of input for free. He was here when the Evansville police chief came and gave a presentation on how to develop a police force. And when someone shows that much interest in a town, they've earned the right. He's also willing, and it was his idea, that to do this or maybe not his idea for this, but an interim. And he knows that there will be a full-time hiring process at some other where we would take that out to other applications as well. And he welcomed that competition because he said if he's the best for the job, then he's willing to kind of fight for that. And so anyways, those were just some things I wanted to publicly state that I am here. You can't see me, but I'm here and continually trying to be a part. And I'm just really proud of this council and grateful for their leadership. Up until Radiant, the biggest decisions we've made is upgrading parks and potholes. And this is high level stuff that's going on. And I'm proud of the men that serve on council, and I'm proud of how they're adjusting and how we are all as a team working to serve this town. I know not everybody will agree how we're doing that, but I promise you our greatest conviction is to serve our town well. And anyways, Mayor, thanks for letting me say a few things. I appreciate it.
And we support you, Tyler, and your wife and what you're doing. And we appreciate you taking the time to get on these meetings and on these calls.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks, Tyler.
As Mr. Martin did recognize the young gentleman who spoke, I note he had a written statement, and if the mayor wished, you could move to append his written statement to tonight's record in recognition of him being well-spoken, if he's willing to surrender his written.
Would you like to do that?
He's just say yes.
On his autograph too.
You could just hand it to the clerk.
Do we need a motion for that, to append that?
No.
We need.
All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Adjourned.